Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. I'm a baddie, and I'm going to safely assume that you are too. Welcome to this video. Before we get into it, I want to briefly add something I didn't mention in my very first video, my introduction video, and address the elephant in the room, if you will. I want to apologize in advance for my somewhat stilted speech and flat, sort of slow affect. I'm not sure if it's from my brain injury or the cocktail of meds I'm on for my chronic illnesses that I acknowledged in that video. Maybe both. It's almost like my speech is lagging behind my brain and they're desynced. I hope it doesn't bother you all too much. It does bother me, and I will be working on it. So hopefully over time we will see some improvement. Okay, now that I've acknowledged that, I recently discovered Reddit. I know, surprising, right? Reddit's been around for a long time. I mainly look at, practical subreddits like interior design, cottagecore to see all those cozy vibes. I follow different discussion groups, and of course, am I the asshole? Am I overreacting? Those dramatic subs as well. So for this video, I compiled posts from r/productivity cafe sub with the question, what's something you didn't realize was optional in life until you saw someone simply not doing it? During childhood, we grow up learning how to live and how to act from those who raise us, as well as from our peers in school. During this time, we also formulate our understanding of society we live in and the cultures around us. Then through university or college, you mature, become your own individual, and realize that there are multiple ways of living and operating in your respective societies. So anyways, here's just some interesting things that I found. Not opening the door when the doorbell rings. Same for not answering the phone. I grew up during the landlines. We had one landline per household. When it rings, you have to answer it. Like, sure, you could wait for the answering machine to get it, but it was exciting. You want to get it in time. There's not all like the capabilities we have nowadays with cell phones and texting and everything. So I thought, it was a mandatory thing. The next one I found, as a child, I didn't know bangs were a choice. I thought people were born with them and others weren't. Yeah, so I guess as a kid, you don't really have a whole lot of input in what kind of hairstyle you do. I guess, I don't know, it's kind of a funny children's thought, I thought. This is good. Voicing an opinion or having an opinion on everything. The Southern Sir says, one of the greatest struggles in my life has been learning to shut the F up. Yeah, I think nowadays people are so like main character syndrome, and it feels like they need to contribute to everything. I'm kind of a believer, and if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Also nowadays on the internet, people feel like they can say anything just because they're protected and anonymous behind their screens. Saying things that they would never say to someone's face in real life. the next thing, oh, this is kind of a like family relationship page. Getting married and having kids. Dreaded it all throughout college because my family wanted it. Then one day realized I just didn't have to. It felt so free. Having kids, being child-free, it's glorious. Going no contact with a toxic parent. That you didn't have to have a partner, at least not until you're actually ready. Same with marriage and having kids. It's a choice, a decision, an option, but it's not the only choice, decision, or option someone has to make. Getting married, I don't have to, I don't want to. I've been on my own for 40 years and my life is my own. Yeah, I mean, a lot of societies, I think, emphasize a lot on having kids, getting married, etc., being in relationships, but, you know, as times have changed, you don't need to have a bunch of children in order to survive, and people are kind of, with autonomy, I guess, living for themselves. Just because something's expected of you doesn't mean you have to do it. I guess that's also the same with going to college as well. I know a lot of people are expected to go to college right out of high school. This next one, long I petito lata, I don't know if I said that right, signing credit card receipts. I just put a squiggle down as fast as possible and move on with my life. I was taught to write everything on a check in cursive. Not necessarily. Yes, I was also. I thought this was your opportunity. You needed to sign your legible name in cursive with your signature. Otherwise, the credit card receipt wouldn't be valid. I don't know. Did anyone else think that too? I thought it had to be legible. I thought it had to be your signature. I guess you don't need to do that. You can just put an X if you wanted to. Yeah, this was a surprise to me. All right. Interrupting Chicken says, accepting bad food at a restaurant. First time I saw somebody send back unacceptable food, I was shocked. You can do that? Honestly, I don't think I would do this unless it was like chicken that was undercooked or I was allergic to some sort of food that they served me. I'm far too polite. I will just make sure maybe that they like didn't bring me someone else's order, and if you know they actually made a mistake, I'd eat it. I wouldn't send it back. I'm just too, I don't know, too overly polite. So Wateroo says, shaking hands. Pandemic saved me from that one. I like the spirit of a good handshake, but often people's hands are gross. Like they don't know you can wash them with soap or something. I don't know where that thing has been. Yes, I honestly, I have germ issues. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. Yeah, I have germ issues. You don't know what people do with their hands. You don't know what people think is acceptable with hand washing. You don't know what they think is gross or not, and like what requires hand washing. You don't know how often people sanitize their hands. So yeah, totally agree. But I also agree that a good handshake sometimes is absolutely necessary. Men not washing hands after they go to the bathroom. It's disgusting. Agree, because even if your body isn't disgusting that you touch, the door handles to the bathroom are absolutely disgusting. You still have to touch those when you go out and in. King Moomy says, hanging up on a telemarketer without giving them a valid reason you're not interested. It's a game changer, really. Again, I'm too polite. I also don't spend a lot of time talking with telemarketers. I've actually just stopped answering my phone if it's a number I don't recognize, but if I am on the phone with a salesperson or a scam call, spam call, whatever, I honestly end up making up a believable story about why I have to go. Otherwise, I just feel too bad. Okay, returning a buggy, in parentheses, shopping cart for some of you uncultured swine. Oh, okay. After shopping, I view it as a moral test now. If you're able-bodied and don't bother to return your cart and just leave it in the parking lot somewhere, you suck, and I hope the cart rolls and hits your car. Okay, first of all, both the names buggy and shopping cart just describe what the object is. The difference is the region of the word and has nothing to do with whether you're uncultured or not. Anyways. But I agree. You absolutely need to return your shopping apparatus to wherever it belongs because having used it, you are responsible for it and the entire time you're in possession of it. If you can't tell, I'm kind of a rule follower sometimes. All right, next one. Empty Canvas 76 says religion. Amen. I see what you did here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just because you're raised a certain religion doesn't mean you have to be that way your entire life. You don't have to agree with what your family agrees with. You don't have to believe what they believe. Make your own decisions. Morgan Anoiler says, wait, Morgan Noiler? No, Morgan Euler says, you can eat breakfast for dinner whenever you want. You can eat dessert first. You also can buy birthday cake any day of the year. This is funny. This reminds me. So I have an older brother, and it reminds me of the time when I genuinely asked him, do you think anyone's ever had ice cream for breakfast? Like I genuinely didn't realize that someone would think of that. You can absolutely eat whatever you want anytime. All right, this one kind of hits home for me. Training actuary says apologizing automatically, usually unnecessarily, justifies oneself, especially to those who have little to nothing to do with you. Attending family events, when others know something matters to you, indefinitely waiting for, assuming or hoping they will or will not do something, either first or all. However you're asked, detailed it. Not quite sure about the last bullet they're talking about, but yeah. I guess the region of the world I'm from, we apologize a lot and often, also unnecessarily. I think it's just sort of ingrained in me, but honestly, I feel like it is pretty unnecessarily done. And that kind of goes along with justifying yourself. I constantly feel like I need to justify why I'm doing something or why I said something. I think just because I'm constantly overthinking things just all the time. All right, this is sort of similar to that previous slide about kids, etc. Having children up into my late 20s, it never occurred to me that that was optional. It was always just one of those things that you're supposed to cross off your list as you go through life. I thought it was something I wanted, but quickly realized I'd only thought that because of societal expectations. I like kids to a certain degree, and I adore babies, but the best thing about them is being able to give them to their owners. I'm not emotionally or mentally cut out to deal with all of the stress and complications that kids bring into your life. Yeah, same, honestly. Yeah, I agree with everything that they said. I have two nephews, love them dearly. They're great kids. I love spending time with them. It's just that currently in my life, children are not for me. Currently, I don't feel like I need that in my life as of right now, at least. Maybe that'll change, maybe not. I'm also super ill, so having kids could kill me. I don't know. Possibly, maybe not, but basically, you don't have to do anything that will forever alter your life just because the majority of people do it. All right, I just put a bunch of things on this slide. Not drinking alcohol, not because you're an alcoholic, just because you stopped for all the other valid reasons not to drink. Jury duty. Had a friend tell me he just never responds to the summons. They can't prove that you received it. So I've never gone when it came in the mail. Matching my socks. Making my kindergartner do homework. I was venting about the kindergartner homework struggle to another parent, and she said, yeah, we just don't do it. Saying bless you or really anything when someone sneezes. Buying things. Taking off your shoes at the door. I still do it, but I was flabbergasted the first time I saw someone walk inside and then walk around their living room without taking their shoes off. I'll just say some quick things on these. I love to match my socks. Sometimes it's just not possible. I do not say bless you usually when someone sneezes. Sometimes I'll say salute, like for health. But it's just like coughing. You don't bless somebody just because they're coughing, just because they're like doing some bodily normal thing. I don't know. What do you guys do? Jury duty? Okay, I feel like I would think it was illegal to not reply and respond and show up to that. But I guess, yeah, they can't really prove if you ever actually received it at your house, right? Hottie hotties comment here, taking your shoes off at the door. Yeah, absolutely. I don't understand people who wear shoes, outdoor shoes, inside the house. I'm not gonna go into it. All right, a couple more here, I think. Insisting on serving cooked veggies to picky kids during mealtime. I saw someone give their kids frozen peas as a snack instead of fighting to get them to eat cooked vegetables at meals. It works with other frozen veggies too. This person still offers veggies cooked at mealtime, but the frozen snack version takes the pressure off and somehow feels more fun. And then just a bunch of other people commenting sort of tricks that they do as well to get their kids to eat them. Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. There doesn't have to be like a set time on having your kids consume the healthy foods. I think this is great. This is really innovative. Oh, I kind of touched on this earlier. System resident says, not going to college. Adults always told when you go to college, growing up, but trade school or apprentices were almost unheard of or not talked about at all. We were forced to fill out college essays in classes. We were taught college degree equals survival and success. This was the norm when and where I grew up, at least. Buffaletta responds, for us millennials, yes. Some of the older people don't seem to understand that we thought college was the only way to be a successful adult. One of my coworkers says, well, they're adults of the 18-year-olds who are pressured to sign for tens of thousands of dollars in student debt. Yeah. I resonate a lot with this. College was what you did which was just the next step after high school for me. Honestly, it was the best time of my life, as most people say. I had so many different experiences and met so many different kinds of people. I also went to a completely different region of the state, so that was fun. I learned a ton. It gave me a well-roundedness rather than a specific skill set per se. Like I didn't go to a trade school. But I would have had to go to a master's program to work in the fields of my majors and minors, which I did not do. I don't regret it, but for me, college was the next step after high school. No question. The loans were brutal though. The student loans were brutal. Oh my God, paying the interest back. Not fun. All right. Timunu says, wearing shoes. My dad always wore shoes no matter what. When I was little, I just thought that's how it worked. I had to see other people walking around barefoot to realize that there wasn't some shoe police out there that would take me away for not having shoes on. I almost never wore shoes after that. My dad thought I was nuts. It's now about 50 years later, and I'm still not wearing shoes. Wow. You must have some very thick, calloused feet. Thank you, kind person from the past, for freeing me from my mental and pedal shackles. Yeah, I mean, hey, more power to you. I think for me, there's definitely places I would wear shoes for sure. Like in public, I'm pretty sure it's illegal here to not wear shoes in public. Also like bathrooms, I would obviously wear shoes. Rocky beaches, I would wear shoes. I did hear from someone that some Australians don't wear shoes at all, which is interesting. So, what is something that you didn't realize is optional in life? What did you resonate with? Did you see anything that you also realized isn't mandatory in life? What would you add? I'd love to hear what else you found out to be optional. Please let me know in the comments below. If you like what I'm starting here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications to see more. I also want to share like spooky stories, other interesting subreddits. Oh, also, did anyone have, I know it's a little bit after 2026 January, we're technically still in it, but it's almost February. Did anyone else have New Year's resolutions for this year? Something you actually plan on following through with? I'm still kind of thinking of some tangible goals for this year, but I guess starting the channel is one. Anyways, bye baddies. See you the next one.